Somebody's coming to town. You haven't met him yet. You might meet him. The resident is visiting Southern California today. He is going to go to a Republican National Committee fundraiser at his own Trump National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes. I was there one time protesting. He says he's going to put the spotlight on his economic policies, LOL, and his crime policies during that event. He'll be here early evening today, so look for terrible rush hour traffic, especially if you're over there anywhere near Rancho Palos Verdes. You're supposed to touch down late afternoon. The actual event is at 6:30 p.m. So there you go. Temporary flight restrictions and traffic delays around LAX and the South Bay. They say the exact timing is fluid, so good luck with that. The resident is coming to town. Let's go to Big Phil calling us from LA. Good morning, Big Phil.
Good morning, Delva. Don't sleep. Hey, my queen, I'm so glad you're back and you're back in good health. Man, I miss you so much on the radio. You are just a classic type woman.
Thank
Lord
you.
have mercy. Hey, you know what? I know where I could get to. I've been a couple of my shows over the years. Just sad how the brother got to go down like that. I don't know what happened with his court situation, but I wish him well, of course. The brother highly intelligent. And part two, I'm land with this. I told Miles that the Womack sisters coming out. Bobby Womack is one of my clients, and I was his bodyguard. We got Al Green next month. Look out for him. Play their music now called the Womack sisters. Okay?
Okay. Well, thank
So
you.
you take care.
Thank you for
I love
that.
you. I'll get to the airport. I love you guys. And, stay safe down there. I'm glad you're back, Dominique. I love you. God bless you.
Thank you. Love you more. Yeah. You know, we're processing so much right now. It's almost like brain overload, and I think that's when you can check back. Go look up one of Sahara's guided meditations for our Mindful Mondays, her affirmations that she does for us every Monday. All of our shows live on YouTube. All of our shows are found wherever you find your podcasts. If you want to go back and review, of course, I've had Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas on many times. If you want to go back and hear his own words, and there are many, many other episodes you might want to check out. And I do find that in times like this, it's the music, it's the art, it is the nature, the beauty that we have around us that keeps us, and prayer, of course, that keep us together. Keep us on track and on point. So, yeah, thank you, Big Phil. Appreciate you. Appreciate our day ones, the folks that have been with us for all 5 of these years. And Dr. Ridley Thomas is also one of those. Today happens to be a day when folks are being asked to show up at the LA County Board of Supervisors in support of Martin Luther King Hospital, which is one of the great achievements of Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas. So you can show up in person or you can call in, and the request is to ask the Board of Supervisors to support the motion by Supervisor Holly Mitchell to send more funding to Martin Luther King Hospital in view of the fact that the resident has cut Medicaid funding, which means that we could be facing the closure once again of Martin Luther King Hospital, which is considered a private hospital, even though in reality it functions as a public institution and it is a nonprofit. And it is one of the busiest hospitals serving people who don't have other access to medical care. So it would be a terrible thing if it went under. And if you have a chance, that's one thing you can do today. Either go down to the LA County Board of Supervisors meeting or call in and make public comment, and you can support MLK Hospital. We're talking about changing the formula for funding so that MLK can qualify for more and doing more of equitable as opposed to equal, equitable, equity-based funding of healthcare institutions, like we do with schools and like we do with public safety resources. We're going to go to Fred from LA. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. Can you hear me?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of missed you too, just like everybody else.
Oh, thank
Mark
you,
Ridley
Fred.
Thomas. Mark Ridley Thomas. About 15. He was my board of supervisor representatives. About 15 years ago, he called a town hall meeting right there at that. I don't know if it's still there at Stocker and
The Urban League?
just east of Crenshaw. There's a senior citizen center there
Okay.
at Stocker and you know where it is?
I don't
Santa
know.
Rosa
I don't know which one you're talking about. I thought you meant the Urban League. But anyway, okay. So MRT
But anyway, yeah.
called a meeting.
So so the homeowners were there. It was mostly women in the neighborhood, and he was very condescending to all of them. Every time they brought up a subject, he always had a better answer, and it was really intriguing near the end to express. He showed up in sweats and a jogging suit and tennis shoes, and he was so condescending. So I said something to him. I had 31 years in government, so I knew he didn't know what he was talking about. So how can you praise this man when he was belittling all the young women? Well, they were middle-aged women. They were homeowners.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't at that meeting. But I can praise him because he stands on an amazing record. And I know you have 31 years of government service, but and you do sometimes frequently call here with stuff that isn't quite factual. So I don't know if that alone is a qualifier. It sounds like you have a personality difference with the councilman, supervisor, senator, assembly member. Well, yeah, I mean he wore all of those hats at one point.
Yeah, he was more than a king than as you call Donald Trump. He told the people how it was going to be, and he was totally disrespectful. And as far as his conviction, that's not the way I understand it. I understand it. He was doing a quid pro quo to get his son a degree from USC, and he got caught at it.
Well,
your response?
How is that a quid pro quo? He went to USC, and USC is an institution in his district. No matter what, he was going to vote for those funds to go to USC. That's not a quid pro quo. Quid pro quo means you do something you wouldn't otherwise do. And Dr. Ridley Thomas would have supported those funds, those contracts to go to USC no matter what. It's his alma mater. It's one of the major institutions in every single district that he has represented in the Assembly, in the Senate, in the and as a supervisor. So, we definitely disagree on that, Fred. But I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you calling. Okay, you want to land?
Yeah, his son was supposed to get a degree out of it, and I want you to tell me what I said to you that's inaccurate, because next time I'm going to call you about the
oh, Lord, I don't have enough time for that. I would need a 5-hour show, Fred, but we'll just take it one day at a time. How's that?
Yeah, thank you. All right, bye.
All right, God bless. He wants me to remember every single thing he said that I'm going to need to take a lot of ginkgo biloba, ginseng, some coconut oil. I'm going to need to take some ashwagandha, all the things that help your memory and your brain. Sleep. Ooh. All right, Fred, I missed you too. Let's go to Mikael calling us from Los Angeles. Hola, Jumbo. Hello. What's up? Greetings.
Shalom. This is Mikael, the Hebrew Israelite. I had an incident over the weekend, Sunday. And like these immigrants here in this country, most of them are legal, and I had an altercation with one, and he was totally wrong, but to make the long story short, because I was going to have to hurt him, he's like 30 years younger, 30 pounds heavier. It wasn't nothing for me to worry about. I'm going to stand my ground, so I called the police. The LAPD came and tried to cover it up. And I told the police that if he touched me, I'm going to hurt him or might take his life, you know. And the police said, well, you got to protect yourself. You know, you have the right to protect yourself. So here, Carmelo Anthony protected himself, and they attacked him. So, I mean, you know, these things go on, and the police is behind. They cover it up, and police is killing us all over the country. This is my solution. We're going to have to fight back. We're going to have to fight back.
Well, people, I mean, there's lots of different ways to fight back, Mikhail, and people are fighting back. But I'm not, I mean, you said a whole bunch of stuff, and it started out with you got in a fight with a immigrant.
Almost a fight.
Almost a fight with an immigrant. Wait, then you made a comment about most of them are legal or most of them are illegal. I wasn't really clear on what you were saying. How do you know the person was an immigrant? How do you know if they were legal or illegal? And what did that have to do with them fighting with you?
Well, that don't have nothing to do with fighting, but most of them come here and they get, you know, pass us benefits over us. I mean, I don't have nothing against them, but to get involved, to harassing me and threatening me, you know, is I have to protect myself. I'm indigenous. My mother is a Negro Indian of this country going back.
Right. I mean, I'm not questioning your right to be here or anything like that. I wonder, like, it's like when the mainstream media, you know, this happens a lot in the mainstream media. Two kids fight at a high school, right? They're fighting over a girl. They're fighting over lunch money. They're fighting over whatever. They're fighting over a set. And then the media will say it's a fight between black and brown. But when you break it down, and this is a Talking Point Tuesday, it turns out it was just two people fighting. You know what I mean? That altercation had nothing to do with the immigration status or the racial background or the ethnicity of any of these folks. So then I just wonder, how are we serving ourselves? How are we serving each other in our community when we add that into a situation where it really is not necessarily relevant? That's why I'm trying to figure out, what does this have to do with what you're talking about? And how did you know? Like, did you say, hey, let me see your ID? Or, like, how do you know if the person's an immigrant or an illegal immigrant or just a jerk?
Well, let me say this. When Donald Trump was going to pass the ICE bill, he did to some places, all I seen in the wholesale district, all those places had shut down. Whole Foods, half the employees had quit. All this was going on. A lot of people here are immigrants, and I don't wish them bad, but to come and push us out, who was here, I lost my job.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of immigrants. I'm just trying to say, what does it have to do with the story you're telling me? Like, why did we start with that?
Because, you know, I'm going to, you know, like I say, I'm going to do what I need to do, but I reported it in case that I won't be set up. And
yeah, I got you. I mean, that's the other part of the story that I, you know, was surprised that you called, that you thought the police were going to protect you in any situation.
They're not.
So then why call them?
To put it on record, because if I hurt somebody or kill somebody out of self-defense, I don't bother nobody. I don't do
right, but then you just use the Carmelo Anthony example. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You're trying to protect yourself because a black man often gets the blame. I get that. I'm just trying to see how calling the police can help. Look, if you want to stay with me, you're welcome to do so. If not, I'll talk to you next time. Mikhail, call me at 800-920-1580. I invite you to do the same. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
You ready?
Drop it. 2 shows, 1 Friday. All Amanda Seals. What's up, y'all? Catch me here on KBLA Talk 1580, first from noon to 2 p.m. And if you miss me, I'm back 4 to 6 p.m. See, this is where the conversation gets real. Ooh, and it gets good. So don't miss it. Fridays only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
We've had neighbors who have had the garbage truck potentially swipe their vehicles because if you park just a little bit too much into the street, you're at risk of getting it hit. If you park too much forward or back, you can't get in and out of your own driveway. And if you're late for a meeting or an appointment, pretty big deal. I really hope we never have a major emergency on this street because being able to get fire department in and out would be very difficult. Personally, while the project goes well beyond anything that my husband and I are facing personally with our home, we do have a very large project within our house. We are very blessed to be in it, but it needs a completely new foundation. It is currently slipping into Crenshaw right now, and we cannot do that work because a concrete truck can't come in to actually do the work. So it's a bit scary for us in that manner. But there have been, there are numerous things that I know we will hear about today that everybody is facing on a daily basis. We really look forward to hearing what everybody has been going through and then trying to find a way to get the construction complete and move forward.
Making sure they follow through. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Yeah, so what should Mikhail have done? Who is the witness? Who is the unbiased, trustworthy witness that we can call to put on the record that we're not the aggressor, we're not the person that is the criminal in a given situation? And it's the same dilemma that black families have when they have a young person or old person, a member of the family, who's having a mental health crisis. Do I call the police and end up with a dead loved one or becoming criminalized myself? I think that is a legitimate question, and I'm not saying that just to be saying something. Mikhail survived that encounter. But who do we call? Who do we call? If it's me, I'm going to try to call, my big brother. I'm going to try to call community intervention worker, that kind of thing. I'm going to try to call the mental health department. But I understand the impulse of what Mikhail was saying. He needed a witness. I do not believe, and I feel like we have to get ourselves out of the habit of thinking that the police are going to save us or keep us safe or tell the truth in that type of situation and give you the proof that you need that you weren't the problem. Yeah. I was happy to see, by the way, this happened while I was on vacation, that Sean Grayson, the cop who killed Sonia Massey in her own home after ordering her to take a pot of water off the stove and then claiming that she was threatening him with a pot of water, he will stay in jail. He will not get an early medical release. He's serving 20 years for killing her in her home, and he has colon cancer, and he's trying to get out on a medical release. If that was the case, so many political prisoners, including Mumia Abu Jamal, would have been already out of prison. I was glad to see that prisoner review board said, no medical release for you, sir. Let's go to Paul calling us from L.A. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. I want to give a call just with what you've been discussing today and just the overall propaganda. And we see it going on today with the Fauci situation, and I think it's interesting because a lot of it is just falling for the okie doke again. They want to control the narrative to get you stop talking about Brother Nolan, to get you stop talking about Brother Carmelo, to get you talking about the Epstein files and everything. What people forget about the situation with COVID is over 1 million people, about 1 million to 1.5 million people died. And it was directly made based on decisions of who our commander-in-chief was during that time frame, because we heard the Bob Woodward tapes and everything, because they knew about it in 2019 and they chose to ignore it. These are facts. The reason that the lockdowns happened is because the healthcare system was overwhelmed. It wasn't because they wanted to stick people with microchips in their arms and stuff like that. That's just propaganda.
Which is also scientifically impossible. At this point, there's no microchip small enough that they could inject it into you without killing you. So, FYI.
Right. And the reason, and this is important, this is why black media is where we should go. Because you're not going to get it on their mainstream media. Why? Because they care about just viewership. They care about engagement. Here you're going to get the truth and the facts of the situation. So then again, I tell you the reason that happened, because it happened in real time. I had direct family members that were working in hospitals that as soon as somebody came in, they had to carry that body out. And we don't talk about the trauma that people are still living with today of watching countless deaths in our community for people and families that were impacted by COVID, because people want to, whatever you decide, if you don't want to get vaccinated or immunized, that's your choice. But don't use propaganda in games and conspiracy theories because you went up a rabbit hole and you want to believe it to poison the community as a whole. And I think that we need to be pushing back against this stuff because we've seen the damage that it has done to allow those type of lies to infiltrate our community because of what they're using the media to push on us.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Paul. I mean, people were orphaned. Folks lost their grandparents, their parents. It was really terrible and scary. And yes, the medical system was overwhelmed, but also remember, they did not know how to control COVID. They didn't even really understand how it was passed around. That's why people were washing their groceries when they got them from the store. I mean, so I think you're right. People forget in this whole pure blood narrative, like somehow if you didn't get the shot, you're a superior being to somebody who did, is so problematic, especially right now when we're having a measles resurgence. We just had a couple people die from the parasite situation. And so, which is nowhere approaching the level of COVID. But the point is, when you make people afraid of science, that's a problem.
And that's the Russian propaganda, and that's them actually literally following. And people don't believe what I'm telling you. Go research it yourself from credible sources, right? This is why they do it. They're following the Nazi playbook from Germany to a T. You attack the education system, you attack science, you attack doctors, you attack books and everything to cause confusion and a disbelief overall, because the goal is to divide and conquer people while they're implementing exactly what they have going on. So when you talk about you're talking about the measles outbreak. Now you're seeing RFK Jr. saying, no, people should get the measles vaccine. But you were the one just pushing this stuff overall to tell people not to get vaccinated, and now there are outbreaks going everywhere for something that was controlled over one time.
Right, in which he claimed to cause autism. So if you really think that, why would you suddenly start telling people to get the vaccine? Because he's a liar and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And you know, we're right up against news, traffic, and sports here. But key word that Paul said was credible source. And you gotta, if you don't know what a credible source is, you need to figure that out. That's a key to not getting duped.
Yeah. And remember, and I'll leave you with this. Remember during the COVID, and this is important for our community to hear this. Remember during COVID, governors were pushing back like we need to save lives. Our medical experts are saying we need to save lives because we don't know what we're dealing with because it's airborne. And for people to ignore that the immunocompromised or people that had compromised systems were the most susceptible to it and saying, well, I don't need the shot. Those are your loved ones that you come in contact with.
Yep. Paul, thank you so much for your call. News, traffic, and sports, then more, only right here.
Where the overlooked become unmissable. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island with BIN News Now. The Spokane, Washington wildfires have forced over 60,000 people from their homes. While no casualties have been reported yet, the fires are moving fast into residential neighborhoods where they pose a new, unprecedented risk. Severe thunderstorms are expected to return to parts of the northern plains. Eastern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota are facing the greatest risk this week. Forecasters say the strongest storms could bring large hail, damaging wind gusts, and some chance of isolated tornadoes. Voters head to the polls today for another big primary election day in the U.S. Ballots are being cast in Michigan, Missouri, Kansas, Virginia, and Washington state. Michigan's Democrat U.S. race is the star attraction, pitting progressive Abdul El Sayed against establishment-backed Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are still having some issues. They lost their fourth straight. The Chicago Cubs put a 10-5 beatdown on the Dodgers Monday night in Chicago. Dodgers pitcher Justin Robleski gave up 4 home runs in just 4 1/3 innings. Since the Dodgers made their White House visit on July 23rd to hang out with Trump, they are 4-6 and no longer have the best record in Major League Baseball. I'll let you draw your own conclusions if there's a connection, but something is not right with the Dodgers over the past 2 weeks. The Rams are off today. First day off for the team since they opened training camp on July 25th. The Rams are back to work Wednesday at Loyola Marymount. The Chargers will practice today and Wednesday on the University of San Diego campus. It's a chance for the Chargers to reconnect with their original fan base in San Diego. The Chargers return to El Segundo on Thursday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where the overlooked become unmissable. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including Mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County Sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Don't be anxious or confused about AI.
Take control of your career when you get the skills to tackle real business problems and design specialized solutions. HR Dive reported that entry-level talent with applied AI credentials can receive up to a 25% salary boost. But where do you find training that you can trust? Future-proof your career and deliver more value with Humans Lead the Way AI. Their hybrid learning courses use practical definitions, real-world examples, and strategic insights to help you and your team understand AI with confidence. No magic, no hacks, no shortcuts. Just practical knowledge that helps you use AI more successfully. Don't wait. AI can never replace people who know how to use it well. Register for courses today at humansleadtheway.com. That's humansleadtheway.com.
What's good, KBLA delegation? I am Miles Lowe, and I'm excited to be joining the weekend lineup right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Join me every Saturday at 12 noon for the Do Better Show, where we get into the world of tech, AI, the creator economy, navigating your mental health through it all, and have conversations with founders to find out how real people are making real money right now. It's not a course, not a subscription. Class is in session every weekend, live on the air. If you knew better, you do better, right? So let's make a better you. The Do Better Show, every Saturday, 12 noon, and replaying again at 7 p.m. right here on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
It's Talking Point Tuesday here in LA, but in Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Virginia, and Washington, it is election day. They have Democratic primaries, and it just once again appears to be a battle of the centrist corporate Dems against the progressives and alleged socialists. So lots of races to watch, and of course we're keeping it moving here, keeping our eye on these races, but also inviting you into the conversation. Mikhail had started talking with me before I went to News, Traffic, and Sports. He was telling me about a fight he had and how he first identified the person as an immigrant. We talked about that already. But I was questioning why he called the police, not as a critique of Mikhail, but out of concern for his own safety. Mikhail called back. Did you want to land for me, sir?
Yes, sir. I mean, excuse me. Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that. I was coughing. But it's two things I wanted to say. It was self-defense. So if I had hurt him, there would have been no evidence. I would have been accused. So I was preparing to have it on record that what had happened.
Right.
And I didn't bother nobody.
I understood that, but you yourself brought up the case of Carmelo Anthony, an 19-year-old, I think, who's serving 35 years for defending himself.
Defending himself. Yeah,
right.
That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, but you're saying if the cops would have been there, then they would have said, "Oh, he's defending himself," or maybe.
No, they would have known later. They would have known later that it happened, and I was defending myself.
I understand. The question is, would they tell the truth? Okay, and your second.
They don't never tell the truth.
Right, and your second point was, you said you had 2 points.
Another point.
Yes.
Talking about the vaccines, and Robert F. Kennedy came to South Central 2018 at that center over there on Manchester and Vermont. I was there. I was there in the crowd. He was warning black people about not taking the shot. A new shot would come out. COVID came out a year later. This was 2018. So I don't know why would he turn around and say we should take these shots. And we got all these herbalists and holistic doctors.
He's a grifter. And you know what, Mikhail, the thing about RFK that's frustrating is that because he says a lot of things that the holistic doctors say, then people think he's wise like they are. But he's not. Yes, he supports certain things that are good, but he's also really crazy. This is a man who was dragging around a dead bear in Central Park and claims that a worm ate part of his brain. I mean, if you want to do alternative medicine, if you don't want to take shots, that's on you. But following RFK ain't it. Like, go see, Tabiti Umoja. You know what I'm saying? Go see, Dr. Nathan Rabb. Go see Dr. Sharita.
Right.
Like, find a real, actual healer, not a charlatan who, like, sells snake oils and also his soul to get a position in the White House.
Yeah, can I say that? Dr. Sherlyn Lee.
Dr. Sherlyn Lee, yes, right.
She has a herbal vaccine that I heard.
Okay.
She has a
Well,
herbal
I'll
vaccine.
give her a call. Mikhail, thank you so much for calling back. We're going to go to Myra calling us from L.A.
Hi, my name is Myra Ware, and I was calling to see if there's any resources for seniors. I've been going through a torment and torture at the Orsini 2 apartment for about 2 years. I have a Section 8 certificate, but I'm being forced to move, and I'm going to lose my certificate. I'm 68 years old, and I keep telling the leasing office the problem is going on. And I think they've got a dehydrator on so strong that when I wake up, I have cotton mouth, and it feels like something's pulling me down to the ground, but they just never do anything about it. So I'm going to have to move and leave some of my things here. And I don't want to leave my stuff.
It sounds like a terrible situation. Yeah, it sounds like a terrible situation. Myra, what kind of resources are you talking about? Are you talking about information, lawyers? You're talking about moving? What kind of resource?
Okay. I have a storage unit in Inglewood. I just need to get the rest of my stuff out of there, which is just a few boxes.
Okay.
I need a lawyer because I need to find out what my legal choices are.
Okay, so
because I pay them rent.
I got you. Yeah, so it sounds like you need multiple resources.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so have you tried Stay Housed LA? That's one resource. They have, they provide, in certain cases, if you qualify, they provide lawyers for folks that are in a situation where they could lose their housing, because we find that it's much more expensive to get someone back into housing than to keep them housing. It's stayhousedla.org, stayhoused HOUSED LA.org. That would have the legal help, and they also have workshops and things to help you know what your rights are. And then the LA City Department of Aging has some resources for older adults, and that's aging.lacity.gov. Let me see if they have a number, because they'll be able to tell you, they're a hub. They tell about nutrition and transportation and caregiver resources, all these kinds of resources for older adults. We have a whole department in the city of Los Angeles, the Department of Aging. They're on Instagram. I see they're on Facebook. They're on X. I do not see a phone number, which is odd because a lot of older Americans do not necessarily like to be online. But this is what I see. They have the list of here's one. 213-482-7252. 213-482-7252. This is the number for the multipurpose senior centers, of which there are many throughout LA, but they can direct you to either the Department of Aging line or a senior center near you that may have some resources to help you, Myra.
Okay.
I said a lot really fast. Did you get it? Sorry.
Yeah.
People tell me I talk too fast. All right. All right, Myra. I'm praying for you. And, one thing I'll say, if you don't have to leave there, don't leave there until you got somewhere else to go. Don't let them push you out of there.
The problem is my apartment starts vibrating so hard that it makes me dizzy.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what they've got on, and I've told them about it over and over, and it's every day, all day.
I gotcha, but you also don't want to be unhoused. So I will look at all my options, and I wish you the very, very, very best. I hope you'll check back with us and let us know, if you were able to get some help from some of these folks.
Help me. Thank you very much.
Okay, God bless. Myra called me at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I invite you to do the same, okay? Looks like Trump's personal lawyer is about to be the Attorney General of the United States. Alrighty, we can talk about that or whatever's on your mind when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Are you feeling the heat? LADWP can help you stay cool this summer and save money. Through the Cool LA program, eligible customers can receive instant rebates of up to $275 on new portable, window, and wall air conditioners. Shop the Cool LA Marketplace today and beat the heat and save. Learn more and apply at ladwp.com/cool-LA. That's ladwp.com/cool-LA.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
And we are here on the chocolate side of Los Angeles to simply lift up black dignity, black honor. No spirit of hatred here. We here because we love our people. We love the people of this community. We love the people of every corner of this city. But some of us start on the chocolate side. And so all of the critiques, all of the calls for accountability have nothing to do with ad hominem attacks on any elected official. It has to do with either indifference or incompetence, maybe even corruption. We don't know, but we just want to make sure that everyday people in this community are treated with the dignity that they deserve. That's why we're here.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through this city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Faye Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are, and like I said, you're always welcome in at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. I was talking about this yesterday. It seems that as long as they get it in writing, they're going to go ahead now and confirm acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche as the U.S. Attorney General. He said he would not reinstate that fund, that $1.8 billion that he was going to give to the traders, the poopers on the desk of Nancy Pelosi, the hunters of the vice president, the January 6th insurrectionists. He said he promises, pinky promise, he won't give $1.8 billion to them, even though Trump says he will. And because he put it in writing, some senators are saying they're going to go ahead and vote for him. So it looks like he will be getting confirmed. We shall see. Senator Dick Durbin said he couldn't take his word for it. The pinky promise wasn't working for him. But, I mean, if we think about it, he is the guy that negotiated the creation of that fund. He is the guy that negotiated that crazy get-out-of-jail-free card for the president. But as it seems right now, he is going to be the president's personal lawyer and now in the role of Attorney General. I mean, there's something poetic about that in the fact that he was acting as his personal lawyer anyway, even as acting Attorney General. At least it makes it plain what's happening. They'll meet this morning to vote on that, and it looks like he is going to get the job. I put that in the bad news category, but not that, Trump has some much better candidate for Attorney General up his sleeve. In the Nolan Wells situation, yesterday I was talking about this Give, Send, Go fund that was set up by Dr. Benjamin Hudson, the father of one of Nolan Wells' so-called friends, Warren Hudson. He says that he is starting this fundraiser because of race baiters and provocateurs who invent and spread false narratives with no accountability. He specifically names Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. I'm just thinking, if that's really my friend, am I going to be suing the lawyer who is representing his family? They've already got $100,000 that they've raised. They say they're going to defend Nolan's quote-unquote friends from wrongful death lawsuits filed by Ben Crump. So in other words, you're raising money to fight against the lawyer for Nolan Wells' family and still calling yourselves his friends. And this guy is swerving all over the map because this Dr. Hudson dude is the same guy who offered up $50,000 for information regarding Wells' disappearance. So that's what he said to TMZ on Sunday. Is that $50,000 of the $100,000 that you raised from Give, Send, Go, or is that a different $50,000? He's claiming that his family has had death threats. That's never fun. But then again, why aren't you more transparent? He claims they're transparent, but that's a lie. They are sitting here talking to right-wing podcasters who intentionally spread lies. If anyone's race baiting, it's the white people. You don't go on Officer Tatum's show, or whatever his name is, and spread lies to bring racial harmony. That's where the race baiting is coming from. It's coming from you guys. There's nothing race baity about a black family wanting to know what happened to their child who disappeared with his 3 white friends. There's nothing race baity about citing the history of black people being murdered, disappeared, unalived in Mississippi. It's part of U.S. history. That's not race baiting, it's context. And context is part of any legal case. So let me get this straight. You started a Give, Send, Go to raise money for the white kids who were with Nolan Wells when he went out to a boat trip to this island to party with the locals, who was never seen alive again, who have lawyered up, who have talked to only right-wing publications for the in blogs and podcasts for the most part, who have been spreading all kinds of different stories, whose stories do not match. You claim to be his friends, but you held his car keys, said you didn't know where they were, even though they were sitting on the Xbox console, who have doctors and judges for parents who are in the press trying to manipulate the jury pool, trying to control the narrative in ways that are inappropriate and in some cases possibly even illegal. Now you're raising money to oppose the lawyer who's representing the family of your dead supposed friend, who we still don't know what happened to him. And by the way, you want to claim race baiting, but nobody other than the little symbolic, oh yeah, I'm going to put 50 grand on, tell us who actually killed him. Other than that, you've spent all your time defending, your position, covering stuff up and raising money for your lawsuits. I haven't seen you out in a boat looking for evidence. I haven't seen you defending his parents. I haven't seen you talking much about Nolan Wells other than to say where he wasn't so that you could make yourself seem innocent. And look, I know death threats are no fun. I've gotten my fair share of them. Probably more than my fair share. Because when you do talk radio, people disagree with you. And some of those people are nutty. And some of those people are racist. White supremacists. It's not fun. I'm not wishing death threats on anyone. But you are some of the most unfriendly friends I have ever witnessed. The fact that Nolan Wells' mom had to get on social media yesterday and say, yeah, I'm going to keep talking about my son. I'm going to stay on social media. I'm going to keep the story in the news because we still don't know what happened and I want answers. Apparently people are telling her to get off social media. She's doing too much. She just wants attention. Number one, who cares if she wants attention? Number two, of course she wants attention to the case of her son, Nolan Wells, who was never seen alive again after leaving on a boat trip with 3 of his white friends. That's not race baiting. Those are facts. It's like when people like to say we play the race card. What other cards were in our deck? If your deck is all spades, you're not going to be playing hearts, baby. That's what you were dealt. Morris says jealousy got Nolan Wells killed. Carl Tucker asks, what really happened to Nolan Wells? And that's the point we don't know. The state has completed their autopsy, but they are keeping it secret. Why? What do they have to hide? They're going to a secret grand jury to present their evidence. Why? They're hoping we'll all go away and start talking about something else. It's very suspicious. Now there's a fake toxicology report going around the internet. Who's race baiting? Who's trying to change the narrative? Who deserves a defamation lawsuit? Unbelievable. But this is where we are, because one of the things that the whole MAGA Trump America scenario, situation, lifestyle that we find ourselves in has brought about is the aggressive defense of indefensible positions and lies, the belief in alternative facts, and the understanding on the part of some of these white supremacists, racists, bigots, sexists, misogynists, anti-LGBTQ people, is that if they just say something enough times, if they just say it loud enough, if they just buy their own social media platform and say it in all caps, then we will believe it. And that is why I'm always talking about media literacy. And that is why when Paul Lee called us and said, do your own research, find a credible source. A credible source means someone that you've heard of, someone with journalistic or community integrity that you can verify generally has reliable information. Not random YouTubers, not random people on X, not random people on Instagram. All right. We say every month is Black History Month around here. We're making that real. Journalist Angela Dodson joins us next. We'll refresh our palates with some Black history heroes. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island with BIN News Now. The Spokane, Washington wildfires have forced over 60,000 people from their homes. While no casualties have been reported yet, the fires are moving fast into residential neighborhoods where they pose a new, unprecedented risk. Severe thunderstorms are expected to return to parts of the northern plains. Eastern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota are facing the greatest risk this week. Forecasters say the strongest storms could bring large hail, damaging wind gusts, and some chance of isolated tornadoes. Voters head to the polls today for another big primary election day in the U.S. Ballots are being cast in Michigan, Missouri, Kansas, Virginia, and Washington state. Michigan's Democrat U.S. race is the star attraction, pitting progressive Abdul El Sayed against establishment-backed Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are still having some issues. They lost their fourth straight. The Chicago Cubs put a 10-5 beatdown on the Dodgers Monday night in Chicago. Dodgers pitcher Justin Robleski gave up 4 home runs in just 4 1/3 innings. Since the Dodgers made their White House visit on July 23rd to hang out with Trump, they are 4-6 and no longer have the best record in Major League Baseball. I'll let you draw your own conclusions if there's a connection, but something is not right with the Dodgers over the past 2 weeks. The Rams are off today. First day off for the team since they opened training camp on July 25th. The Rams are back to work Wednesday at Loyola Marymount. The Chargers will practice today and Wednesday on the University of San Diego campus. It's a chance for the Chargers to reconnect with their original fan base in San Diego. The Chargers return to El Segundo on Thursday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.